Excellencies, I'm pleased to present two reports submitted for your consideration under Agenda Item 6. The first report is the OHCHR report on the operations of the Voluntary Fund for Participation in the Universal Periodic Review. During the reporting period, the Voluntary Fund for Participation in the Universal Periodic Review has continued to ensure the participation of states, especially least developed country and small island developing states, in the Universal Periodic Review mechanism, contributing to a truly universal interactive dialogue in the sessions of the Working Group on the Universal Periodic Review. The Voluntary Fund covers the travel expenses to Geneva of government representatives to participate in the UPR Working Group session and the adoption of the outcome document by the Human Rights Council. It also supports the engagement of states in the preparatory process of their review, including through the advice provided to them on the preparation of the national reports. In 2024, the Voluntary Fund supported the participation of 14 delegates from eligible countries in the 45th, 46th, and 47th session of the Working Group on the Universal Periodic Review. Since its establishment, the Fund has facilitated the attendance of 262 delegates from 119 states from all geographic regions, with many receiving funding in 2 or more cycles of the review. Of those 119 states, 71 are least developed countries or small island developing states. The Voluntary Fund also supports briefings and consultations at the national level prior to sessions of the Working Group to assist states in the preparatory process. OHCHR provides this support through its Universal Periodic Review branch in Geneva and increasingly through the UPR advisors deployed in OHCHR regional offices in line with the Human Rights Council Resolution 51/30 on strengthening the voluntary funds of the Universal Periodic Review mechanisms. During the reporting period, 9 out of the foreseen 11 UPR advisors were deployed in OHCHR regional offices in Panama, Santiago, Dakar, Pretoria, Addis Ababa, Yaoundé, Bishkek, Brussels, and Bangkok. Although the regional advisors were mainly deployed during the later part of the year, their impact was already significant in terms of the increased support provided to states on their engagement with the mechanisms prior to the review. In 2024, in-country briefings and support to preparatory processes of the review were provided in Angola, in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, in Equatorial Guinea, in Kyrgyzstan, and in Panama. Last year, the Voluntary Fund received contributions from 5 states: Albania, China, France, Ireland, Saudi Arabia, for a total amount of $152,250. That represented a decrease compared to with the previous year and amounted to only 41% of the contribution received in 2023 and 60% of the average annual contribution received since the establishment of the Voluntary Fund. The total fund balance as of 31st December 2024 was at circa $600,000. Due to the decreasing level of contribution received, OHCHR has carefully monitored expenditures to ensure an adequate level of reserves for the continuity of the work of the Voluntary Fund in 2025, given that we foresee an increase of requests from state. Mr. President, the second report presented under Item 6 is the OHCHR report on the operations of the Voluntary Fund for Financial and Technical Assistance in the implementation of the Universal Periodic Review. The present report outlines the activities funded and the results achieved by the Voluntary Fund in 2024. It includes the results achieved through the combined support of the Voluntary Fund and the Universal Periodic Review advisors deployed in OECHR regional office, pursuant to Human Rights Council Resolution 51/30. The progressive deployment of Universal Periodic Review advisors at the regional level enhanced the ability of OECHR to create synergies between the technical advice provided to states and the implementation of projects and activities funded by the Voluntary Fund. In 2024, the Voluntary Fund enabled OECHR to provide technical support to 23 states across different regions, including Barbados, Burkina Faso, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Haiti, Lao People's Democratic Republic, Guinea-Bissau, Lesotho, St. Kitts and Nevis, South Sudan, and Suriname. Regional advisors from Universal Periodic Review mechanisms in coordination with regional staff from the Treaty Body Capacity Building Program extended support for additional countries in the respective region, including Angola, Benin, Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, Malawi, and Uzbekistan. Based on its term of references, the Fund focused its technical assistance on 4 main areas. Number 1, implementation of key recommendations emanating from the Universal Periodic Review. Number 2, enhancing national capacities for the implementation of UPR recommendations and reporting on the progresses achieved. And number 3, enhancing the role of Parliament. And finally, number 4, strengthening United Nations country teams to support national efforts. In 2024, the Voluntary Fund received contributions from 10 states, namely Canada, China, France, Iceland, India, Kazakhstan, Philippines, Saudi Arabia, Singapore, and Spain, for a total amount of $434,170 US, which represented a decrease compared with 2023. The total fund balance as of 31st December 2024 was circa $1.2 million US. In 2024, OECHR closely monitored expenditure to preserve sufficient reserves, ensuring the operational continuity of the fund into 2025. OECHR will continue to maximize the support available to states for the implementation of recommendations from the Universal Periodic Review and other human rights mechanisms through the synergy, use of the Voluntary Fund, and the support provided by the regional Universal Periodic Review advisors. In 2025, projects and activities are under implementation in 20 countries, including Turkmenistan, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Costa Rica, Bolivia, Cabo Verde, Botswana, and Eswatini, with several others in the pipeline. However, predictable multi-year funding for the Voluntary Fund will be crucial to facilitate effective planning and implementation of the capacity building activities, as well as to effectively address the growing number of requests for assistance from member states. On this note, I thank you for your attention.